Hello and welcome back to Curiosity Lounge. Before we start, hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. The world is huge, and people believe that individuals must have claimed all territories or land. We assume that every corner of the world has been explored and is filled with people living in all parts of the world. For over a century, you might be thinking you know everything about the planet, but to this date, there are some pieces of land in Europe that are unclaimed by anyone and not taken over by any modern country. You might be thinking, why are no people living in these pieces of land? Is it because of the climate, or because of the scarcity of resources, or were they just abandoned? Well, this video will answer these questions for you. So for today's video, we will be getting to know why nobody wants this part of Europe. Did you know that Europe is the second smallest continent with 50 countries? With a majority of Christians, it has a population of over 748,368,358 people as of 2022. It is a continent also known to be part of Eurasia, located in two hemispheres, namely northern and eastern. The continent shares land with Asia and Africa, also known as Afro-Eurasia. The border is to the north by the Arctic Ocean, to the west by the Atlantic Ocean, to the south by the Mediterranean Sea, and to the east by Asia. The watershed of the Ural Mountains, the Ural River, the Caspian Sea, the Greater Caucasus, the Black Sea, and the waterways of the Turkish Straits, which are in Asia, is considered to separate Europe. Because of the continent's great physical size and the weight of its history and traditions, it is considered to have its continent even though most of its border is over land. 3 pieces of land are unclaimed to this date, the largest of them being a huge piece of land in Antarctica called Mary Bird Land. It is quite obvious as to why this piece of land is unclaimed, as most of Antarctica has no population. The next one is in Africa, which is between two countries, namely Egypt and Sudan, which come in the middle of the famous desert, the Sahara Desert. Nobody lives or wants to live here, so it has remained unclaimed, but it can be claimed by anybody who could be you too. The last one in Europe, which is left unclaimed by any country, is surprisingly the smallest and the most interesting among the other 2 pieces of land. Because it is situated in the middle of Europe, where you might think that every land is claimed, it draws a lot of attention. It is placed next to the Danube River, between Croatia and Serbia. It is believed that it was missed due to some reasons, as it is still unclaimed by any modern or sovereign country of Europe. When we say it's a small area, a 7 square kilometer land which is predicted to be twice as big as the Central Park located in New York City is what we meant. In Europe, the Vatican City and Monaco are smaller than the piece of land. This piece of land is known as terra nullius, which simply means anybody or any country can claim it for themselves. As said by many, nothing comes free of cost. However, this free territory comes with a catch. For understanding the catch, let's first understand the background of this unclaimed part of Europe. Back in the 19th century, this area and the area surrounding it were all under Habsburg, later known as Austro-Hungarian. Back then, too, there were 2 lands, namely Croatia inhabited in the east and Serbs inhabited in the west, with the Danube River being in the middle. The boundaries between both the lands were made perfectly. However, the lands started facing problems when the Austro-Hungarian government decided to make the river's water more easily available for the transportation of goods by using various hydraulic engineering projects. As Austro-Hungarian collapsed in the First World War, they had created problems between Croatia and Serbia's future countries without them knowing. After the collapse, the 2 lands became a part of Yugoslavia, which later in the 1990s collapsed. Then, after some decades had passed, Serbia and Croatia had become fully independent countries for the first time in centuries. Also, as time passed, the Danube River also changed to a completely different shape, which used to act as a border between the 2 countries. This would not be a problem, as now both fall in the same country, but as they are independent, it could be a reason for concern. Some piece of land on the eastern side was left out because of the change of course of the river over the years. Due to this, only 10 to 20 kilometers of land was left on the western side of the river, which is now better known as Terra Nullius, which is in Croatia. So both the lands started having arguments on how the lands on either side are divided. Croatia wanted to go with the modern boundary better known as the Danube River, whereas Serbia wanted to follow the historical boundary of the Danube River itself. Eventually, both of the sides ended up taking most of the eastern side of the Danube River, leaving the western side of the Danube River unclaimed. Serbia did not want to claim it because it comes under Croatia's territory, and Croatia did not claim it because they thought they would agree with Serbia's thought of the historical boundary of the Danube River, which would mean that they have to leave claims which are more valuable than the ones in the west. This is why 2 of the lands did not claim it, and to date, no other country claims it either, making the land known as no man's land. But even if you want to claim it, there are some issues you must know. The first one is the most basic one. The land does not have any infrastructure and is prone to floods. The second one is the Croatian army had surrounded the land, and they do not allow anybody inside it. Over the years, whoever tried to enter the land was arrested by the Croatian army. So I would recommend you to claim the other 2 lands, Vit Yadilka is a Czech politician who tried to claim the land by raising a flag within the territory back in 2015. Unfortunately, he has been arrested multiple times by the Croatian authorities. Even though the land is restricted from around the world, many people wish to become citizens of Liberland. Currently, more than 600,000 people have signed up for citizenship. This brings us to the end of our video, guys. Hope you liked our video. Let us know your opinions about this unclaimed land in Europe, and if you are interested in being a citizen of this land. We will see you with another video soon.